Our guest today is most known for her role as Rebecca Donaldson on the hit TV series Full House. She's also been cast as Debbie Wilson, the mother character in the new 90210 spinoff series. I'd like to welcome Lori Loughlin to Sidewalks. Lori, it's so great to have you with us today.
It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So you have been acting for a long time. I remember even when you were playing a teenager on The Edge of Night, daytime drama, back in the very early 80s.
Oh,
I
yes.
would rush home to watch you. When did you first discover your love of acting?
I think I've always, since I was a child, had a really vivid imagination, and I was always in my mind creating scenarios and characters, and I just think it was something I gravitated towards at a young age. And so I had an opportunity when I lived back east to start out by doing some modeling, and it was something I always wanted to do but didn't really know how to get into the business, and ended up going into a modeling agency with a friend, and they took me, and I kind of started from there, and then did some commercials, and then finally ended up on that wonderful soap that you were mentioning called The Edge of Night.
Well, Lori, one of your most memorable characters, of course, was playing Rebecca Donaldson on Full House. What do you think made that show so special?
You know, I think it was a good family show. I think it was something you could sit down and watch with your children, and the whole family enjoyed it, and there was something for everybody. And I also think that we as a cast genuinely had such a great love for one another, and I think it came through. I think as you were watching in your living room at home, you could see that we were having a good time, and I think it made people say, you know what, I want to spend 30 minutes with this family. Or I've heard people say who, you know, maybe lost a parent, that they could relate to it, and it helped them cope with their loss. And so I think on many levels it hit and it worked.
What was it like working with that cast, with so many comedians? It must have been crazy.
It was truly phenomenal. It was one of my best experiences I've ever had in my entire career, and I mean that sincerely. It was an absolute blast.
Well, Lori, one of the reasons you're here today is that you've teamed up with Lunchables and a nonprofit group called First Book on a literacy campaign. Tell us a little bit about this program.
Yes, I'm very excited about this, and I'm very excited to be working with the Lunchables team and First Book, of course. And if you go to lunchablesmom.com, that's the website, you can check out all the information on the million-page mission. But basically what it is Lunchables is trying to encourage parents to read with their children. So if you go to the website and you pledge to read 100 pages to your child, for every 100 pages you read, $1 will be donated to First Book. And their goal is to raise $10,000 to buy 4,000 books, to get those books to lower income families who can't afford books, and to children who unfortunately don't have books, so that they can start reading, and hopefully their parents can start reading to them. Because statistically, you know, as they're studying this, it shows that children who are read to actually perform better academically, and children become stronger readers when parents read to them, or an adult or somebody reads to them. And children who can read are also, statistically, it shows that they are more confident, that they are happier, that they do better in school. And sadly, 37% of fourth graders in our country can't read at a basic level. And
wow.
So the Lunchables team is trying to get the word out there. They're taking charge, and they're trying to say to parents, you know what, you can help your child. Just sit down and read with them and help your child reach their full potential. And in turn, by pledging to read 100 pages, you then will in turn be helping a child who is less fortunate get their hands on books so that they can start reading. So it's a wonderful thing that the Lunchables team is doing, and it's just so great that they've teamed up with First Book, the nonprofit literacy organization.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful program, and I will tell you that my love of reading began with Nancy Drew's series. How about you? When did your love of reading begin?
You know, I can remember the first book that I was absolutely passionate about, and that just sucked me in emotionally, and it still today is my favorite book, is Charlotte's Web.
Oh yeah, I read that as well. That was such a great book too.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope the parents are going to get out there and read to their children.
Yes, it's so important. I do it with my children, and I can really see a difference in their schoolwork, and it's such a great opportunity for you as a parent to have that time to sit down and read with your kid. It's a wonderful time to bond with them, and it's a special time that they will always remember. And at the same time, you're doing them the biggest favor because you're helping them reach their potential and beyond.
That's right. Lori, there is a huge buzz right now for the new 90210 spinoff series.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how you were cast as Debbie Wilson on that show.
You know, I got a phone call from my agents, and I had heard like the buzz around town that they were going to do the new 90210, and I didn't really think too much of it because I thought, well, I'm too old for that. And then I got a phone call saying, we're interested in you to play the role of the mom. And you know, the mom and the dad in this version will be well-rounded characters with storylines of their own, and would you be interested in coming in and meeting with the writers? And so I did, and I loved Gabe Sachs and Jeff Judah, our executive producers, and I love everybody over at the CW. So it was just a perfect fit for me. And then after I signed on and I told people what I was doing, the excitement was absolutely overwhelming. I couldn't believe how many people were just with anticipation, just holding their breath, waiting for this show to come back on.
Well, Lori, as we close, do you have any career advice for those rising young actors out there trying to break into the business?
Oh, you know, I think for and it's not just the entertainment industry, I think whatever it is, follow your dreams and work really hard, because if you're tenacious and you just keep at it, eventually a door will open, and if not a door, then a window. But you know, I think you just have to stick with it. And I think, and I say this all the time, and I say this to my own kids: get a good education, and which leads me back to read, 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 and parents, read with your children, because I do believe if you put your mind to it, you can do anything, and it all starts in school, and it starts with reading and you know, meeting your full potential.
Thank you so much for being with us today on Sidewalks. It was a pleasure having you. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, and go to lunchablesmom.com and check out the website.